Hello world. Everything is turned upside down at the moment. So I figured I wouldn't go into that. I'm gonna go into that a bit more on the upcoming vlog I'm filming for next Monday. This video is just gonna be about the piece. And this is the first of a series I'm gonna explore throughout this year, I think. It's of the zodiac signs. And it's not that I'm really into astrology, but I really love the symbolism astrology has. It's kind of, I want to explore painting more symbolic things as maybe a warm up to start getting into, maybe not drop completely into a tarot deck, but maybe start looking at it a bit. So I looked a bit at what Aries symbolizes. It's our first star sign of the year, from between March the 21st till April the 20th. And a few of the things I have looked into is that apparently the color is red. So I figured her hair should be red. And the planet for the sign is Mars. So I'm painting Mars in the background, and I guess that's another way of figuring out if I can paint planets, because I really do like planets. They're beautiful. One of my deepest interests when I was a child, apart from Pokemon and dinosaurs, and horses, were astronomy and the planets and everything space related. So I figured it would be a fun thing to explore as well. The only thing I haven't really put into the piece is that it's a fire sign, which I'm a bit sad about because I apparently forgot all about it while making it, sketching it out, but it's okay. I'm figuring that this year I want to explore feminine characters, and maybe next year I want to go into masculine characters. So I guess I'm gonna get another go at it maybe next year. I hope. I'm gonna at least try to. Yeah, a thing that's been really upsetting during the research period for the star signs, all in all, is that I wanted to incorporate flowers into it, and I figured, hey, if all the signs have different planets and colors and stuff like that, they should also have flowers. So I've been looking for star sign related flowers, and the despair of finding 20 different lists. So I took the list that I found most, and I'm just gonna go from that. So for Aries, it's apparently the honeysuckle. It's not really a flower I know much about, but it's really cute and really pretty. So I did my best to get it into the painting. Another of the reasons why I wanted to do these is that I really want to not just explore faces more, but practice the shadows and stuff like that. And I've been looking at a bunch of other watercolor artists and how they do faces, and I kind of want to get a bit away from the flat wash and then put in the shadows, but I'm not really completely comfortable with that in this piece. But then again, I figured that I have 11 more pieces to explore that with. So I guess that's going to be quite interesting. A thing that's been really annoying about this, the entire concept of this one, is that I hadn't meant it to be like that, but it's very reminiscent of last week's painting with the tiefling. And yeah, that's what happens when you don't really plan out that much and just kind of go with the flow. So I guess I have to do that a bit more. Okay, going a bit onto the idea of how she's positioned, because while looking into the star sign, I'm gonna see if I can do a complete translation on the go. That people born in Aries is said to be dynamic entrepreneurs with a tendency of only thinking about themselves. They often act before they think, and with Mars as their planet, they are definitely competition people. They love sports, I guess. It's not really something I've looked much into. So if you're an Aries, tell me in the comments if any of this applies to you. But it made me want to get this very, I know what I want, I know what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do it, and you are either with me or against me on that. This very leader expression, I guess. I don't know. I think determined might be the best word to describe it. Oh, looking back at this, I really want to paint some more eyes. Just maybe fill a couple of pages of my sketchbook just with watercolor eyes. So that's gonna be a thing to look forward to for me, I guess. Anyway, the way I found the facial position was I actually just went on to Pinterest and looked at Aries ideas, and I'm not really sure exactly how I came to this one precisely, but one of the pictures were of a woman with almost this expression on the face, and that was absolutely perfect. So I sketched her out a couple of times. I played a bit around with it, and her face slightly changed. So I figure she's pretty much exactly what I wanted. It's fairly perfect, actually. I don't really know if I guess we can talk a bit about the painting process itself. Like, there's a couple of things I've talked a bit about in the vlog coming up, but might as well talk about it here. I've noticed a lot on earlier paintings that I do this very scratchy motion with the brush, and it's really not that nice to look at. I want to incorporate more swooshy, clean movements with my brush. So it looks a bit more nice, but also just because you don't really get the scratchy outlines like that. You just get this, like here, nice and smooth brush movement. And it's just nicer, all in all. So while we're at the planet, I think I'm gonna go ahead and talk a bit about the star sign I painted in front of the planet. And the idea with these paintings is that I do want to make prints of them, but I figured to put, later on I put golden paints onto the star sign, and I really shouldn't have masked it off because it means it got way too thick and bold compared to what I actually wanted to look like. So that's a thing I'm not going to do in the next painting. As said, I have 11 more of these to find out how I want to work forward. I have 11 more ways to make mistakes, so that's going to be fun. I'm kind of really happy about working with painting the planets. It's really, I can't remember the real word. Anyway, the thing I want to say is that you don't have to have a perfect wash on it, because on the actual planet there's these dunes and areas that's more sandy and stuff like that. So it's okay for it to be messy. It's kind of better for it to be messy. So I don't think I made the planet well, but I think it turned out okay. What I'm doing now is that I've finished off all the general colors and shadows, and now I'm just taking it's this very dark, very gray, bluish color, and layering it over to make the deepest of the shadows, and just detailing out areas that has to differentiate from each other much more than other places. And it looks a bit silly when you first start putting it on, but when you're finished and you step back from the painting, the effect is absolutely stunning. I don't really know how else to describe it. It works so incredibly well. It just blends in really nicely and just gives this whole unifying aspect of the entire painting. And looking at the hair right now, I really, really like how it came out. Both because I feel like I got a lot of detail, but also a lot of depth into it with the different lengths of the curls and the different layers of darkness and shadow and stuff like that. And I guess this is just one of the paintings where I look at it and I know there's much more than just a few mistakes. There's mistakes galore, but I'm still really happy about it. I look at it and I feel happy about it. Maybe not satisfied, but happy. And I guess that's a good thing. Time for some peel. And a tiny bit of weird slow motion because I didn't film it in slow motion, but who cares? We're gonna pull it anyway. And while pulling it off, I really find out how much of a mistake it was to put it on, because I'm just gonna cover it up anyway with gold, and I can't really do a lot of fine details with the gold. But again, mistakes that can be corrected. As said, I want to create some prints of this, and while the original will forever be like this, in Photoshop I can just remove all the golden paints and cover it up, and then I can put the foil exactly where I want it to be. I think that I'm gonna like the prints more than I like the original, because the thing about the gold foil is that I print my prints on my inkjet printer, but if I want to put gold foil on it, I have to put it through the laser printer, and the two printers are not in agreement of where to put Aries. And well, you have to give some leeway for foil placement in an actual big production of something like a book cover or stuff like that. This is too much of a difference of where it puts the ink and the toner. But these two areas where I put gold paint on this original, it's okay if they move a bit and are put on slightly different places, because, well, the sign on her forehead, it's okay if it's a bit crooked. It's fine. And the star sign, as long as it's on top of the planet, I would say that is perfectly placed. So I guess we're gonna see how that all turns out. I really want to make a vlog about that whole thing. Anyway, this is the final piece. I hoped you had fun, or at least found this a bit interesting with my ramblings. And I hope you take care of yourself and those around you. And yeah, bye.